Welcome back to the Creative Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Adam A. Adams, the Win-Win Maker, and today you are in for a treat. Mike Fisher has over 70 apartment doors, actually single family, 1 to 4 units, so all residential doors. And so he's out of Chicago, and all of his rentals are out of Chicago. And he's got a really interesting story where it starts all the way back to his very first rental in 2003. If you'll believe that. Back in 2003, he got his first rental. He got kicked in the a-hole in 2006, 7, and 8. And then in 2009, he came back. You know, what they say is when you get kicked down, when you get knocked down, what does a successful person do? You do exactly what Mike Fisher did. He got up in 2009, and he contributes a lot of his success to some of the podcasts he's listened to because he's getting intimate with some of these podcasters. He was in Mike Hambright's, Dean Graciosi's Mastermind group. He contributes a lot of his own success to those things, as well as reading books and going to big conferences, I think, like the 10X conference with Grant Cardone. So we have some really cool stuff. Josh Morse is saying that you are the shit. So that's awesome.
Hey,
right,
Josh.
so if y'all have any questions, please go ahead and put it into the comments below. And before we really get started, I want to invite you. I'll be on stage at the Best Ever Conference. That's on February 22nd and 23rd. So if you want to come to the Best Ever Conference, go to besteverconference.com and put in the promo code #BlueSpruce. If you're older than 30, that means # Blue Spruce, which will get you 25% off. I'll also be in Utah, where I'm from, getting back to the roots. So this in Salt Lake City, speaking at the Utah RIA on March 12th. And then the last one I'll tell you about is the Finding Deals Summit. Guys, if you're not finding deals, if you realize that 2019, it's harder to find those deals than ever before, you got to come to the Finding Deals Summit. I'm committed to you to bringing the best of the best people in the nation who are finding deals and bringing deals to the table so that you can learn these out-of-box innovative strategies so that you don't have that problem anymore. So make sure you come to the Finding Deals Summit on April 4th, 5th, and 6th. Mike Fisher, Yaman, he just got back from Jamaica, so that comes naturally right now. He was on the beach for 4 days sipping cocktails while here in Denver. Like I was saying, Denver doesn't look like this anymore. It's snow, it's ice, it's 20 degrees. Mike Fisher, give us a little bit about your background into real estate, and we'll move on from there.
Yeah, so Adam, thank you very much. I appreciate the time that you took and reaching out to me, man. I'm super excited to be able to share with others and just hopefully this has an impact, even if it's just on one person. That makes me happy, makes my heart smile. So my background is probably similar, maybe not, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate on some level. Has to do with remodeling and new construction, building homes and all. And I've been self-employed now for 28 years. So always out there grinding, always finding a way, to make that connection. I'll tell you though, in being in remodeling, carrying drywall, carrying ladders, carrying shingles up on top of a roof, it gets old, it gets tiring, and doing it for 12-hour days or something in the summertime, because we only get like that short period that you can actually enjoy the summer, right? So not unlike Denver, you guys get sun all the time, even though it's snowing. But so, in 2003, I was like, man, I got to find a way that is going to get me out of this eventually, to the point to where, because I know my body's not going to sustain. My knees are hurting me, my back's killing me. Like I just can't, I couldn't do it. So like, you know what? I'm just going to buy one rental property every single year. And I bought one in 2003 at the peak of the market. I still own it today. It's an A-class community. I just figured I'd buy one a year. I'd manage it myself. I would do the work on it, whatever I had to do, and just learn it. So bought one in 2003, off to a real good start. Did not buy one in 2004. Bought one in 2005. Like Adam said, I don't know if it was your exact words, but got kicked in the balls in 2006, went through a divorce, And then from there, I was just doing some flips and picked up a few more, all in the A-class community. And then 2009, educated myself. And I really spent, oh man, 6 months of just really researching different areas and to get the best cash flow out of it, just squeeze it, and where am I going to get the greatest return on my money? Built a relationship with the local bank who believed in me. And from that point forward, it was like rock and roll, man. I went out to the southeast suburbs of Chicago and buying up homes for $20,000, $30,000, which I still own today. A few of them I've sold. You can't get to 70 plus doors by selling them all, but which we also provide turnkey properties, which I'll get to later on down the road. But, it's just building it up and just building it slowly. And then came to the point where about 5 years ago, I was like, you know what? Wow, I should like make a difference in other people's lives. Like what I'm doing right here. And at that point, I probably had right around 20-ish doors myself. And I'm like, I can help other people do the same thing. And then up to that point, I was still doing remodeling, still running my crews and, just trying to grind and make a buck. But it really sucks when, you got all this, I don't know if everybody's listening, got union people out there that, when the time is right, it's these union guys like, hey, man, get off my cloud, man. You're non-union, But then all these union little babies are out there now when they don't have a job, no cloud to sit on anymore. They're driving around in their minivan trying to find a buck. Well, you know what? Hey, I don't blame you guys. You guys got to do what you got to do. And I'm grateful for you guys because it pushed me to get the hell out of it and say, you know what? I can live off my rental income. Who the hell can do that, man? Like I created that. You create what it is you want. I created it. I knew I had to get out of that mess. Now, from that point forward, I literally reached out to a few key people and built relationships with them. And they networked my properties. And then I started doing fix and flips inside my company and providing people a turnkey property with the property management behind it. So, and today we manage a little over 300 doors. And we got a long ways to go there. And I'm looking to double that this year. So,
Wow.
and then, and today here I am over 70 doors and, I couldn't have done it all by myself. I've just got my own vision of where I want to go. So, yeah.
Awesome stuff. Okay. So one thing is we're really talking about how being around other successful people creates success in you. If you want to share a little bit of detail on really what you did in 2009, I think you said,
Yeah.
you really decided like that's really what you're going to do. What changes did you make at that point?
I just, I literally really just dug down because I knew I always wanted to make a change, to make a difference. And I think there's three things that everybody should ask themselves every day. Did I live fully? Did I love openly? And did I make a difference? So you don't wait till you're on your deathbed before you ask those questions, but it's a little too late. So guys, in my opinion, this is what has worked for me. You have to change your mindset. You have to change your focus. You have to change the people you're hanging around with. You have to change the books you're reading. I mean, like I've got two books sitting right here. This guy, if you guys can see that, Tim Grover, this guy's the freaking shit, man. Like I've read this thing 3 times. There's another guy that you see me on Facebook that's Grant Cardone. This guy's the same, man. Listen to these guys. If you don't have these guys in your neighborhood to network yet with, it's okay because they're all on YouTube. There's so much content, so much that there's not enough time in a day. But then when you get it, now you have to go do what? You have to take action. And not just any action. I'm not just talking about, oh man, I got to go to the bathroom because you have to. No, dude, you have to take massive fucking action, man. Not these little baby steps that people talk about. You want to go up those stairs? Stretch it, man. Stretch those legs. Go, man. Go and just educate yourself. And you know what? You're going to fail a lot. And that's okay.
Awesome.
fail fast, fail forward, and fail frequently. If you're not failing, you're not moving, man. So get up off your ass and get to work, because nothing good comes easy. You got to really surround yourself around good, positive people. And I'll tell you what, if you really want it, you really, really want it, shut the freaking TV off, man, because it ain't nothing but garbage out there anyway. You can't change it. The only economy you can change is your own economy. That's it. That's my opinion, guys.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like it's built up in me, right?
Good. All right. So let me ask you, one of the things you did, I host masterminds. And so I really want to understand what it took for you to get into one of these other two masterminds that we've already mentioned. So what did it take to get in? What did it feel like before you joined? And then I'll talk about like what was a takeaway from, how did it actually benefit your business? So let's start with, what did it take to get there?
So one of them, actually, Dean Graciosi's mastermind. I was actually invited by, and not obviously not personally, but I was invited by one of Dean's good friends, Tony Robbins, and just following Tony. It was in my email, and it came in like boom, like, all right, well, it's coming from Tony. It's got to be some quality stuff, and I just listened to one of Dean's students online. And I'm like, wow. And I could relate to his student that he was talking to. And just like maybe some of you people can relate to me. And I'll tell you what, I reached out, I took his classes online and all, and learned a lot. I had to deal with wholesaling and finding deals, kind of like what, where you're going and what you're doing. But and from there, I just got invited to a mastermind out in LA. It was like I don't know, 3 or 4 day mastermind in LA where there's only like 15 people, very, very tight. I think, the other things, guys, don't be cheap on your masterminds. You only get out of it what you put into it. So don't be cheap about the money. Don't be cheap about your time, because you get what you pay for. Seriously, don't be cheap about it. So I think just those 4 days or something like that probably cost me around $5,000. Something like that. So I'll tell you what I learned before I even went into day one mastermind, I actually learned it from the student that I was telling you about that I could relate with. I learned it. I just had a burger and a beer outside in the sunshine because it was like February around this time of year. And so I was enjoying it outside, went inside, and that guy was sitting at a different bar having a burger and a beer. And I'm like, wow, there he is. So I literally had a 15-minute conversation with him. I could have left at that point right there. It was worth every penny. And he told me what to do. I told him where I was at, where I want to go. And he said, Mike, you need to get rid of your little part-time assistant and hire a full-time assistant. And from that point forward, blast off, man. That was my big takeaway, and do a lot more wholesaling. But yeah, that was my big takeaway. And then as far as what I got out of it was like-minded people, being around like-minded people that are going through the same challenges, or maybe they've gone through a challenge that you've already been through, so that you don't have to sit here and keep on grinding and making all those mistakes, because you can learn from somebody else's mistakes. That's why we read books. That's why we listen to podcasts, right? Mm-hmm. So you can get where you want to go faster.
What about Mike Hambright's not podcast, but what brought you into that mastermind, and what was a takeaway that you got from that group?
Yeah, so Mike, that guy's he's the shit, man. I love that guy, man. So there's another guy, a local guy that I've known for years, and he actually talked about Mike Hambright's mastermind, and I just like, okay. I didn't really, at that time, I was still with Dean's mastermind, so I wasn't like, well, and then he's like, just check it out. And then it came up again. Somehow somebody reached out to me and like, hey, check out this mastermind. And I'm like, this goes with that. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm ready. Let's do it. So I literally, it was just that, because the other person that's local, I have high regard for him too. It's like, okay, if this guy's with them, it's got to be worth looking into. So did a little interview, and that they're pretty particular about who they're letting in. They don't want somebody in there that's just gonna, I don't know, contaminate in a negative way or something. I don't know. It's just quality people that have been through the trenches, man. People that are out there killing it and crushing it today, and just out there every single day, man, grinding just to get that one little bit, a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. And my biggest takeaway with Mike's is, man, he is just so committed to that group, to everybody in that group. And like, you could just feel his love for everybody in that group. It's really, really, it just, goes back to live fully, love openly, and make a difference. And I
Yep.
felt it. And that guy, he's like, hey, if there's anything I could do to help you, let me know. I'm here for you. And I called him up and said, hey, Mike, I'm struggling with this. He's like, I know somebody that you can talk to. And boom, we had a 20-minute conversation. And that was like valuable to me because he's already been through so much. And, just like, and I left with like, wow, that was awesome,
Yeah.
and just so, yeah, I mean, that there's so much more that I can go into, but if I had to sum it all up, I mean, you feel this guy he just wants to love all over you, man. Just, hey, how can I help you? I
That's
have
really, really
tons of
cool.
resources. How can I help you? So yeah, that's valuable. Not to mention everybody else. I got to stop because it'll keep on going.
All right. Well, then let's move. Let's transition a little bit, and really get back into your story a little bit. I think it's incredible to own. I think it's pretty dang awesome to own one apartment building with 70 units. But I think it's just like massively difficult to understand how somebody could own 70 individual houses around a city, like with 70 roofs and all that kind of stuff. You had to do 70 different acquisitions. You didn't just buy it one time. So let me just pick your brain a little bit about how you could possibly have done that. So in about 10 years, you bought around 70. So that's like 7 a year. So that's almost one every other month that you're buying a new house on average. How are you doing this? How are you finding these deals?
Well, I'm not doing it alone. That's for sure. So I've also built up a dynamic team behind me. So which I'm super grateful for, everybody on my team. And to do that, you have to build your network too, right? And just being out there, being on podcasts, being out there and just making yourself known. I'm known to be in the southeast suburbs. Chances are, if you haven't heard of me, you're probably not doing anything. I'm just, again, not trying to be pompous or anything or arrogant. I just, hey guys, I was just telling Adam, one of the things that I do, I'm telling you guys to do, is listen to podcasts. And Ed Milet, that guy freaking rocks. I seen him at the 10X in Vegas last year. The guy is awesome. So that guy was talking about like, hey, it's not about the being arrogant. It's not really about that. It's about being confident. It's about being in confidence. So I'm very confident of my territory, of where I buy. And I can tell somebody quickly that, hey, no, I'm not paying X for that house. I'm paying this. And then they're like, and then I hear back from them like, well, really, I paid $20,000 less, and I just want to get rid of it now, and I just make $2,000 instead of $20,000. Okay, well now they're back, And plus, people know that when I say I'm going to buy something, I'm going to close on it. I don't back out on a deal. I'm going to close on the deal. So, and that's my price. Here's my price. I'll close on it, and we'll close on it. How fast you want to close next week? Let's go. So, it's just building relationships with people and getting where I want to go, just getting there faster. So yeah. And actually, you talked about like inventory. Adam, I don't know what has happened here in the last, maybe it's just because it's springtime or something, but here in the southeast suburbs, it seems like a lot of inventory in the last 3 to 4 weeks has been coming out, man. So I don't know why, but it's out there and I'm loving it. So bring it
Cool.
on.
That's awesome. All right. I think it is time to move into the final five, but first, a quick word from our sponsors. All right. And do you have the final five ready to go?
Hmm.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Nobody usually does.
I'm gonna go back with my live fully, love openly, and make a difference, man.
Cool. So here's the final five. Your most creative deal, a book, which I think you might have already shared a couple books, but we'll still do it. Creative deal, a book 5 years ago, 5 years from now, and how you give back. And then we'll figure out how people can reach you. So before we pop in, guys, if you're not set up already to going to the Finding Deal Summit, you absolutely need to come to the Finding Deal Summit. This is where I have the top experts from around the country and in one place sharing their expert tips and tricks so that you can be more successful with your business, your real estate business. I don't care if you're doing single family or multifamily like we're doing. You've got to be at the Finding Deal Summit. Not only that, but the networking is going to be incredible. So exactly what we're talking about today on the podcast, your network is your net worth. You know, you are the sum of the people that you're hanging out with. So come to the Finding Deals Summit. And we're back. So Mike Fisher, what's the most creative deal that you've ever done?
The most creative deal, God, there's so many, and the one that comes to my mind is I did a bulk purchase, and you talk about like Mike, that's like buying one every other week or something, you know. But I did a I've had several bulk purchases, but there was one that really sticks out, and it was freaking awesome to take down. I think I took down like 20 some properties at one time, which is a lot of work because I think they're all occupied too. So, and really a mess to take on, but took it on, and I'm grateful I did. And it actually took about like almost 5 months to close that deal. But it was worth every moment because I'm used to moving much faster than that. You know, all in all, it all worked out really well, and you know, just building a relationship with the lenders too, and really, the whole deal just worked out perfectly. So,
Nice. What book do you recommend?
well, I'll go back to these two right here, um, Tim Grover, Relentless, and actually, guys, if you don't want to buy the book, just go to YouTube. It's on there free, and guess what? So is this one. I think all of Grant's books are on YouTube for free. So, you know, be obsessed or be average. This guy, I personally got on a plane to go visit this guy and spend 15 minutes with him in his office. So, you know, I had a great time with him. He's just a ton of energy. If you think that I got some energy, this guy is running circles around me, and I think he's got 10 years on me. So, huge inspiration to me.
Just curious, what did it cost you to be in Grant's office for 15 minutes?
Actually, it didn't cost me anything.
I don't know how you did that, but that's awesome. Where were you 5 years ago? I know you got started in 2003, got kicked into something in 2006, recommitted in 2009, and focused on your network with Dean and the other Mike and everybody else. You mentioned Tony Robbins. Where were you 5 years ago? Let's kind of explore that a little bit.
When you say 5 years ago, in what realm? What, in my state of mind, or?
Yeah,
That was a big turning point for me.
Yeah, let's just see the parts that you think are relevant. I'm open. So just tell us what was going on 5 years ago.
Yeah. So that was, like I said, that was a huge turning point in me. That was a point where I said, you know what? This is where I draw the line in the sand. I don't like that Mike Fisher. I've educated myself. I listened to Tony Robbins. I've listened to this person, that person, read books, but I'm still Mike Fisher. I'm still doing the same thing. And what, you know, expecting different results, right? But guys, you can probably, like, you can see I put stuff up all over this is my home. I put stuff up all over my home. You know, it's just, there is no change without a change of routine. you guys got to change your mindset. And that's exactly what I did. I made up my mind. And I took that massive action and made up my mind and said, that is it. I'm sold out. I'm not going back to that old shit. From this point forward, I'm going out, man, and that's it. So, and every once in a while, I keep on moving that bar forward, and hey, how many people? Like I said, I don't know when this is going to be broadcast, but we're only a month and 6 days into 2019. How many people have already dropped their goals? How many people did not write them out? If you're not, the other big changes. If you're not writing your goals out at least once a day, I learned this from Grant. If you haven't listened to Grant Cardone, you owe it to yourself to listen to Grant Cardone. So write your goals out at least once a day. And the next time, if you want to do it twice, morning and afternoon, or morning and evening. And then the last time is if somebody's like busting your balls, man, you're like, ugh. Write your goals out, change your focus, bring it back home, man, your reason why you're doing this. And that's something that's really awesome too. And Adam, I think that I got to add this because this is so valuable. There might even be a book on this, the 7 levels deep of your why. Find out your why. If you don't know your why are you doing all this? Why? And if you don't know your why, spend some time and learn about why.
Love that.
Yeah.
Where will you be 5 years from today?
Hopefully in a warmer climate. It was just -50 before I left for Jamaica, so it's freaking cold, man. So warmer climate for sure. That's where I'm going to be, and doing a lot more traveling. My goal is to have 300 doors. That's where I want to be. Just last year, a little less than a year ago, I did a couple 1031 exchanges also, and picked up some properties. I want to do more Airbnb, short-term rentals. And I picked up some properties out in Scottsdale, and I've got 3 of them out there right now. And I'll tell you what, the cash flow on those things is stupid, man. I just looked yesterday. I was on my flight back. I will have, it was like $19,000 in income on these 3 units already. That's committed coming into for this year, for 2019. So, and I'm only, a month and 6 days in. So those guys, I don't know much about it. I spent about a month educating myself. I want to have more Airbnbs. I want to have them in Florida. I want to have them in Texas, all warm areas. So that's where I'm going to be in 5 years.
We'll have to bring you back on the show specifically about Airbnb, and we'd love to pick your brain again. How do you give back?
Yeah, that's, we kind of touched a little bit on that. And my thing for giving back is, it goes back to live fully, love openly, and make a difference. And I love making a difference in people's lives and just helping them accomplish something that they never thought was possible. Maybe it's just buying that first deal. How many people sit there and overanalyze that first deal? People go to class for a whole month or a whole year, month after month, and they're like, they still don't do a damn deal. You know what I'm talking about. Like, guys, just go do it. Take some action and go do it. So, it's just, to me, giving back is just that, helping people, encourage them. Even a podcast like this is encouraging to people. People that I don't even know I've met them later, and they're like, Mike, you have encouraged me so much, and you don't even know it. There's a guy that I know from many, many years ago. He was just a kid, old neighbor, and he seeked me out on Facebook, followed me, checking it out. His name's Kevin, and I don't mention too many names that are local, but I love this guy. So Kevin took and bought 1 turnkey property from me. And from there, now I think this guy has, I don't know, I think close to 10 doors. And that was just like 2 years ago. So his goal is to get rid of his full-time job and say goodbye to that and live off his cash flow. So, just making a difference in that kid's life. And, that makes my heart smile.
Love it. Love it. Hey, we have a question that came in here on the live. Yeah, man. Ronald Roy Kyle asks, can you do that with multifamily? And I'm assuming that we're talking about Airbnb. I think he might be talking about Airbnb. I asked him
That's
to clarify. Do you know if you
yeah, yeah.
let me pretend that's what he's asking until he confirms?
Okay.
Can you do Airbnb with multi?
I don't see no reason why not. You know, as long as the HOA allows you to, if there is an HOA, or if you own the damn building, you are the HOA. So you call it what you want. You know, there again, guys. There's so much information out there on YouTube. Dig in there. There's so many people that are actually good. There's a lot more that are really suck at it. And quite honestly, I'm not the guru in that at all. I'm the guy out there that has read so much about it and has a passion for it. Let's face it, who loves property management? Not me, man. But you know what? It's helping people because it's a necessity. We provide turnkey properties, but you know it's not like we are. You know we've got a call center, but we still got to deal with plumbing issues and stuff. You know the tenants, termites, and toilets. You know story and all that. But I'll tell you what, when you're dealing with people that are traveling, doing Airbnb, they're happy. They're going on vacation, man. You know, like they're excited. They're dealing with a whole different mentality. It's awesome. It's and in the system we can talk a little bit about that later. There's systems that are in place today that makes it almost effortless and automated. It just moves by itself. Like literally, it's moving right now. I got people moving in and out, so it's awesome.
Love it. All right. So, how do people find you? What's the best way for people to find you?
Best way, MF Cashflow. That is the best way. Yeah, mfcashflow.com. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. You can find me, find my webpage. Go to my webpage. So it could be Mike Fisher. It could be motherfucking Cashflow, however you want it. I named it that way because of the motherfucking cash flow. So take it, guys. And hey, if there's anything I could do for you to help you, let me know.
Thanks so much for coming on. And until next time, think outside the box. All right. So we are off on
All
the
right.
podcast, and we'll make sure that nobody has any final questions here. And we'll pop off. No questions. So thanks, guys, for watching. We'll talk to you later.